Support the Bronx Beartics in Season 2 of the UCL. You can pick up a shirt or hoodie till July 31st. Link is down below in the description. Yo, what's up guys? You got PokeMD here, coach of the Bronx Beartics, with my Week 3 of the UCL Season 2 team breakdown. This week we are playing Patters and the Newcastle Nidokings, or Daniel. Last time we played him was in the semifinals of the UCL Season 1, where we ended up beating him. He had a really cool draft back then too, with Mega Venusaur, Magneton, Haxorus, Slowbro, I remember that. But in any case, he has a new team this time, and let's just bring that up real quick, and I spelled Among Us wrong. Amazing, who cares? Who honestly cares, as long as you could tell what the Pokemon is. I could have put an MGA Diancie, and you would have known what it is. But in any case, his draft consists of Amoonguss, Mega Diancie, Quagsire, Infernape, Cresselia, Haxorus, Dugtrio, Aerodactyl, Electivire, Mismagius, and Ursaring. He has the whole Amoonguss Quagsire fat core going on. I can respect that. With Mega Diancie, Infernape can definitely be a threat, considering it has high speed and a pretty decent move pool. Also access to Swords Dance and Nasty Plot. So this will be a really fun game that I think we'll be having. I haven't played him yet. I'm actually about to play him right after I finish this, which is why I wanted to record this right before. Considering I built my team on Tuesday with my boy CBB, big shout outs to him. I think it was either Tuesday or Wednesday. It might have been Wednesday. And I just wanted to refresh my memory before I play Patters. It's Friday. It's early. And, okay, it's not early. It's about to be 12. But, yo, if it's not 3 o'clock, it's not morning for me, okay? Nah, I'm just like a totally different person, I feel. From X amount to 12. Than from 12 on. But in any case, if you guys are new to my team building videos or have no idea what the UCL is, basically it's a draft league format where you draft Pokemon and you battle X amount of members for X amount of weeks, and the person or the people with the highest score, get to playoffs, and then the winner of them makes it to finals, and then they play, and then they win, and you guys watch. I think that's it. That's pretty much it, right? There's a playlist down below, though, in the description if you guys want to go ahead and, you know, if you missed any of the first 2 weeks or my draft or the breakdowns or anything, as well as the Bronx Beartics shirts, which is only available for, I think, 2 more days if you guys want to go ahead and pick that up. But if you guys are new to how I make, I said if you guys like 400 times. If you are new to how I do these team building videos, basically we try to create a team that can be any combination of 6 that my opponent wants to bring. And I emphasize this because I think prep is super important in team building format. Just because you can play well doesn't mean that you can beat everything, especially if your team isn't ready. Let's say my team wasn't ready for Haxorus. A Dragon Dance Haxorus could straight up sweep me if I wasn't ready for it, right? Doesn't matter how I play. Even if I don't give it the opportunity to set up, if I have no countermeasure to it, then if it does eventually set up, it can put in work. But, yeah, so that just means any combination of 6 he wants to bring, whether it be Amoonguss, Mega Diancie, Quagsire, Infernape, Cresselia, Haxorus. I honestly just feel like I named his team that he's going to bring. I think his first 3 are his first 6 is like very, very likely versus me. Or if it's Haxorus, Dugtrio, Arrow, Evire, Quagsire, Infernape, whatever it wants to be, I just want to make sure that at least a member of my team can deal with it. So let's actually just go right into the team. We got some, yo, look at this spread. Call me Kevin Cronin. Call me BKC with this spread. This is a very, very, very unique Kieran Black spread. My boy Beatdown bringing it, or starting for the 3rd week in a row, making it to the lineup now. The thing about Patter's team is it's a lot like mine. It has Pokemon that are extremely slow, and then Pokemon that are very fast, but nothing in the middle. There's nothing like there's nothing like between like the 200 and 300 speed tier. Besides, like, you know, I guess Ursaring, though I'm not too worried about that. Well, it could be a threat definitely because my team is slower, but we'll see. Anyway, there's nothing that's like random in like a random speed tier like that, so that's why I'm bringing a really bulky Kieran Black this week. Basically this set worked really hard on its sub Home Claws, Iron Head, and Dragon Claw. With Terravolt, Home Claws a +1 boost to go through unaware from Quagsire, as well as the fact that with my natural resistances as well as bulk, this set can take 2 Earthquakes from Quagsire. It takes 2 Earthquakes from Quagsire in order to break the sub. So I can set up Hone Claws on Quagsires. Moonblast from Cresselia does not break the sub. Amoonguss doesn't break the sub. It needs like a couple hits in order to break the sub. Sludge Bomb doesn't break it in 1 hit. Basically, I can just set up, and I'm also faster than Diancie, and a little bit of speed investment for Cresselia as well. But basically, this set is a good win con versus him because his Pokemon, like Infernape, for example, they have to go for like close combat if they want to break my sub. U-turn won't break it, not Scarf U-turn, and I'm pretty sure Bandit U-turn isn't really that close to breaking it. So it's pretty much a Pokemon that can set up on Cresselia, Amoonguss, Quagsire, and proceed to sweep from there. It's not that fast. Haxorus is already naturally faster than this, so I figured there's no point in putting that speed. I wanted to put the bulk, that way we could deal with that. Also, I can set up a sub versus Diancie turn 1, because there's no way you won't protect with Diancie turn 1. I think that's really... I think that's foolish, because if I was like Life or Birth Power, or Iron Head Life, or Scarf Iron Head, like, and you just Mega Evolved for without protecting for no reason, I get the kill on you. So I very much like this because it gets up a sub versus a non-Mega Evolved Diancie and then proceeds to knock it out with Iron Head right after. So this is a Pokemon that I think has a lot of potential to sweep my opponent. Just depends. But it's so bulky that it won't go down to any 1 hit except for like a banded close combat from Infernape, or actually I think Moonblast from Mega Diancie doesn't even knock me out. There was a lot of calcs that we had, by the way. That me on the beat, by the way. There was a lot of calcs that we had, and I can't remember all of them at the top of my head, but we're going to check right here because, you know, that's what we do. I'm not going to say crap and be foolish for it or look foolish. So we got my boy beat down. Let's see if we can take on Mega Diancie. Huh. Looks like at level 100, you completely annihilate me. Level 0, I can live any hit. That's good. Yeah, see? As I was saying, it's so bulky that if I wanted it to take a hit, I can let it. Diamond Storm doesn't knock it out, and Moonblast doesn't knock it out. So even if I get, like, let's say the play wrong, after Leftovers recovery from the sub, he can't knock me out with anything. Because sub obviously takes 25%, right? Let's say he doesn't protect, right? Leftovers brings me back up to 81%. Max from Diamond Storm is 80%. 80.5 does not round out. Pokemon always rounds down. This is attack invested too. Let me just get rid of this. Make you naive. Well, I guess with naive, he could potentially knock me out. We'll see though. It all depends on that turn. The great thing about Beatdown is I also have Healing Wish support on the team. So if I want to play it risky, I can. Or riskily, whatever. If I want to be risky with the Pokemon, I can. So next up we have Hard Body. I am Hard Body. You are just Reuniclus, bringing itself back to the team for week 3. And again, building is always really tough because there's a lot of Pokemon we want to use. I want to use like Manaphy, the Captain. I actually didn't bring Manaphy this week, and I'll talk about why later. But we have Hard Body, the Combine Reuniclus with Psychic because that hits Pokemon harder than Psyshock. It hits like Haxorus harder. Also Psyshock does like less. This also hits Quagsire harder, mainly that because with Psychic special defense drops, I actually have a chance to beat Quagsire anyway. And Psychic does a lot to Quagsire regardless. So we have Shadow Ball because that hits Cresselia. Psychic and Shadow Ball pretty much have perfect coverage versus his team. Psychic hits everything, and then Shadow Ball hits everything that Psychic doesn't hit. And enough speed on the spread, that way we can outspeed Quagsire. Quagsire needs to have a significant amount of speed in order to outspeed us. And if it does put that into speed, that means it can't check Pokemon like Garchomp better. So I'm like trying to hold back a yawn. I can't check Pokemon like Garchomp, so Quagsire needs to be fully invested in bulk if it wants to be able to take on like Chomp or just the other physical attackers on my team. So I think it's okay to put speed there. And the rest is put in physical defense because this lets me switch into Bandit close combats from Infernape. And between this and a few members on my team, Infernape, we're going to beat it the same way we did in DPP. We wear it down with Life Orb, and then we come in and revenge kill it. Okay, that's the main way to beat it. That thing is a monster. Magic Guard, because if I manage to get this thing in like on a Toxic from Quagsire or a Scald and I get burnt, great. I don't take the burn damage, and he can't put me to sleep with a Amoonguss. Originally, we had Overcoat as an idea, but even though his only hazard is Stealth Rock, which I'm not too worried about, my team is not weak to Stealth Rock. Only one member on my team takes super effective damage for Stealth Rock. The rest either resist it, take neutral, or don't take any damage at all. And, you know, I have Regenerator, so it's not like I care about that stuff. I'll care more as we keep going and I face more Spike Stack users. But, yeah, basically this thing can take Bandit close combats from Infernape, it can take U-turns, even Bandit Flurries, it can tank them all. And this is also a decent check. It also checks Amoonguss, as well as Dog Show, Arrow, Electivire, and with a boost it can also take on Ursaring after Stealth Rock damage. So I wanted to bring the Uniclus because it's a good win con, and it's something that can hit Amoonguss hard and just hits his entire team hard. I can literally send this thing out and click Psychic and do about 50% of almost everything bar the Cresselia. So next up we have Strongjaw, my Garchomp. I am running Choice Scarf Garchomp yet again. We only ran enough speed to outspeed Haxorus, since that is pretty much the fastest member on his team that we do outspeed with a Choice Scarf. Infernape, if it is running a Scarf, it outspeeds us anyway. Though we do outspeed Modest Infernape if I'm... Do we actually outspeed? Yeah, Modest Infernape hits 319 if I'm not mistaken. So we do outspeed Modest Infernape. Put the rest into the defense and just max attack. We have Earthquake, Dragon Claw, Outrage. Outrage, honestly, I'm a little bit iffy about it, but if he is like Haban, Berry, Haxorus, but he's like at 70% or something like that, we can take him on. Dragon Claw is just so we don't have to be locked in. Earthquake, obviously, his entire team is grounded outside of Arrow, Miss Magius, and Cresselia. So Earthquake is a pretty decent stab. And I actually have Toxic on it because this thing it lures in Pokemon like Cress as well as Quagsire, which can, you know, normally take it on. So if I can get off a Toxic on that, that'll just make the Reuniclus job a lot easier, and Toxic can just wear that down. And it just puts me in a situation where I'll be able to set up with the rest of my members versus those Pokemon. So next up we have Panza, my Aggron. And originally the slot was right on. I wanted to bring back Aim for this week. However, after a few calcs, we realized that Mega Aggron actually does it better from both sides, meaning it can be physically offensive as well as take on special hits, and mainly for like DNC and stuff like that, since Moonblast plus Earth Power does not knock out Mega Aggron at all. So this spread is designed to knock out Haxorus 100% after Stealth Rock with Avalanche, and we do live +2 Earthquake as well. We have Heavy Slam as our main stab, Stealth Rock is Course, and just Roar, and then we do have Special Defense, that way we can take on DNC a bit. And the rest is just put in defense, that way that way we can take on Haxorus a bit better, as well as this thing can also eat a hit from Infernape if it needs to. A physical hit, rather. A special move like Fire Blast is going to do a lot. But mainly, there's not too much like detail to go into this spread. Basically, we just made it so we can take on Haxorus at +1 or even at +2 if needed. Get the damage we need, and then either get it out of there if we feel that it is... It really depends on the Haxorus set. If I see Life Orb, okay, I don't let it get to +2. All I gotta do is phase it out, and then my Garchomp checks it. If I see, and that's why I have Roar in that, because as you can see, the next Pokemon is Alomomola, and Alomomola is a great Pokemon for Mons to set up on, like SD Ursaring, like Dragon and Haxorus. So I will always, you know, swap out if I fight those, or try and Wish Pass to these Pokemon. So we do have Filter as well as our ability when we Mega Evolve. However, Mode Breaker does break through to that. But just with our natural defenses, Haxorus does not take us on too well. So, and we do heavy damage with Avalanche. Nice pun there. Avalanche, again, does like 90% minimum to Haxorus. So with Stealth Rock, we 100% knock it out. And he doesn't have a Defogger that is like viable on his team. I guess he has Magic Bounce, but... since I'm pretty sure that Aerodactyl does run Defog, or does have Defog, access to Defog. But next up we have Whitley, my Alomomola. We wanted a Pokemon that could switch into the Antsy and not be too KO'd. Max damage from Moonblast is actually 49%. Man, I wish this thing had better special defense. If it had its defenses as its special defense as well, oof. But basically this is something that can switch in and pivot on Infernape. Whenever Infernape comes out, I'll probably hard switch to this. If it's Bandit Close Combat, it won't knock me out, but it'll do a lot. If it's Bandit Flare, and then I can just pivot into Reuniclus. I obviously have Regenerator, so that's going for Alomomola. That helps me out. And this is also, like I said, something that can switch into Diancie and not be knocked out. Also, if Calm Mind Deante thinks it can set up on this thing, I have Waterfall to 2-hit KO it, which is why I'm not running Scald. Waterfall also does a lot more to Infernape, also breaks Miss Magius' sub, does more to Arrow and Doug Trio, and pretty much just to break those subs, and also not allow a Pokemon like Nasty Plot and Infernape to 100% set up on me. Or anything like that, or even something weird like Calm Mind Infernape. But last but not least, we have Snorlax, my boy CVB. This is a really cool set. It's a Snorlax with speed, with max HP, 180 defense, and it's careful nature. Now, your Snorlax is running Substitute, Curse, Body Slam, and Seed Bomb. Now, Quagsire does have access to Unaware, which is what I'm expecting to bring versus me, because that does beat Curse Lax and things like that. Well, it has to be Curse of its own, which if it is, we have Toxic on Garchomp to deal with. But basically, we are faster than Quagsire. Seed Bomb always 2-hit KOs physically defensive Quagsire. Even if we go for Curse, we don't lose the speed just due to Unaware. Obviously, don't get defense as well. But that's where the max HP and 180 defense comes in. Quagsire 2-hit KOs my sub with Earthquake, meaning that we will have a sub up versus Quagsire. This thing is not beaten. The sub is not broken by +1 Psychic from Cresselia, and if it's Psyshock, we have Curse to boost alongside it. And this also allows us to avoid status from Amoonguss as well as Clear Smog. And with Seed Bomb and Body Slam, it hits his entire team for really solid coverage. Body Slam, his normal resists include Deante, Aerodactyl, Miss Magius, and those don't really appreciate Seed Bomb at all. Seed Bomb being super effective, obviously, against Mega Deante, and also Snorlax just being strong in general. Miss Magius having poor defense. Seed Bomb is going to be able to break a potential sub as well, and we can dodge a Will-O-Wisp if he's like sub Nasty Plot, Shadow Ball, Will-O-Wisp. Just because I don't have a Ghost Resist on my team, I could see that happening. But obviously, with the sub up, we are able to dodge a Wisp. And I'll go back to this. We have Wish, Waterfall, Healing Wish, Protect. I really, really, really love Healing Wish on this Pokemon. Originally, I was thinking about Icy Wind and Ice Beam, but Sub Hackers actually sets up on Icy Wind since it doesn't do anything to it at all. This thing is piss poor special defense. But Healing Wish is so cool because it allows me to play my Aggron, even Beat Down, or even Snorlax differently. I can play them more aggressively. I can risk them at certain points. Meaning that they will have a second chance if I decide to give that to them, which is why I love Healing Wish on Alamola. Not saying it's always going to be a staple, not even saying I'm always going to bring this Pokemon, but I just love the Wish support that it brings to Pokemon like Aggron and Snorlax, who are bulky but don't necessarily have the best defenses, and they can just like live hits. So the great thing about Snorlax as well is that I'll show you Infernape versus this Snorlax. I'll actually show you some of the calcs. There you go. Snorlax also can check Deante, which is great. So, Infernape. Let's see the Choice Bandit set, level 50. And then there is Snorlax. CVB. So as you can see, after a curse, it doesn't break my sub with U-turn most of the time if it's Choice Bandit, so it has to usually go for the close combat. If it's Scarf, for example, it doesn't break my sub with anything outside of, like, close combat is its only move that I can go for. It doesn't even knock me out with close combat, which is amazing. Close combat is the only move that I can go for in order to break my sub if it is Scarf and Infernape, which I could see happening just because that is faster than my entire team, so I could definitely see Scarf and Infernape happening. Versus me, but Snorlax is just so strong too. What is this? Eviolite Infernape. Why'd they actually give it the boost with the Eviolite? Yeah, but Body Slam is a 2-hit KO, and obviously after a curse boost, so we'll just put this at -1 defenses. It's doing almost 80%. Not most of the time, but yeah. We originally also had Manaphy on the team as well, but Manaphy made it harder to switch into moves from Infernape, as well as Deante became more of a problem, which is why Snorlax helped a lot. And that was the main reason why we didn't end up bringing Manaphy this week. So this is going to be the team. I hope you guys are hyped for week 3 of the UCL. We'll be taking on Patters, like I said. Feel free to leave a like. You can check out the Bronx Beartics shirts and hoodies. They're only available for about 3 more days. And I will see you guys next time. Cue the outro.